Hello friends! In today's video, let's find out if I can beat Mario Tennis if the ball moves at twice its normal speed. The rules for this will be simple: win all normal tournaments, win all star tournaments, and no save and quits to reset the score on any game. I don't expect this to be too difficult as there is somewhat of an algorithm for beating each character in the normal game, but let's jump in and find out. I'll be going with Wario for this run. He may be slow, but I've always preferred using the power characters in this game. Hopefully a lack of mobility won't be too much of a disadvantage. First up is Mushroom Cup. This is a low difficulty cup on an average court and I don't expect to have any trouble here. However, my first opponent is Boo, who has some of the nastiest serves for the early cups. I take the first game very easily, but Boo does get a couple of aces against me in the second as I struggle to reach the ball from my starting position. Still, it ends up being a straightforward victory overall. The second round is against Paratrooper, another character with some tricky serves, though not quite as difficult as Boo's. Once again, the first game is trivial, though I do miss out on 1 point in the second game as Paratrooper gets an ace against me. It seems games where I'm returning are going to be much more difficult than when serving. The Mushroom Cup final is against Mario, who is a more predictable character to face at this difficulty. I have absolutely no issue winning here, as winning the points and returns is far more trivial when the opponent always aims to the same spots. Mario fails to gain a single point against me in both sets as I cruise to victory in the first tournament. Next is Flower Cup. The court here plays slower with a weaker bounce and the characters will be a little more difficult, but I don't expect it to be too much harder overall. The first round is against Yoshi and I make a good start before dropping a couple of points due to some poor shots. I recover to take game 1, but Yoshi immediately aces the first serve against me. I adjust my starting position to be closer to the service line, allowing me to more effectively return Yoshi's serves and ultimately win the match. Round 2 is against Boo, which should go similarly to our first meeting in the Mushroom Cup. I react too slowly to some of Boo's returns and lose some points, but again I still win the first game without much issue. In the second game, I fail to return some of Boo's tricky serves and come close to losing it, but I manage to pull it back to deuce. I win both points to take the match. On to round 3. The final is against Mario again, but he'll be a little more difficult in this tournament than the last. I make some early mistakes but still take the first game comfortably. Mario's serves are a little more varied now and he does get a few aces against me this time, but I correctly return on the remaining serves to win the first set. In the first game of the second set, Mario's returns are getting the better of me and we end up at deuce. I hit a double fault trying to go for an ace and I lose this game, but make up for it by taking the next one without dropping any points. I play my serves better in the third game to take that one as well, so one more game to win the tournament. Mario hits 2 aces, but I win the remaining points and the tournament. Star Cup is next. This court plays faster than the others, so expect a lot of aces. First, I'm against Toad, who should be quite an easy opponent. I take all the points to win the first game as Toad's returns are easy for me to take advantage of. The second game goes similarly as Toad mostly plays slower serves. I do concede 1 point to an ace, but the match is over quickly. Next up is DK Jr., and this will be my first match against the power character, who are typically the hardest to beat. I play my serves well to take all the points in the first game, but I expect the second game will be harder. Indeed, DK Jr. hits 4 aces against me, and the few points I manage to salvage are not enough to force deuce or avoid losing the game. Game 3 is similar to the first, as I managed to take all the points from my serves to win. I'd like to win Game 4 to avoid a tiebreak. This time I only lose 1 point as I'm able to win the rest on my returns, taking the 4th game and the match. The final is against DK. This won't be easy. I lose 1 point in the first game as DK's return is just out of reach for me, but I'm able to take the rest of the points. I struggle to deal with DK's serves as he hits 3 aces, and the one I do return doesn't go well for me either. I'm going to need to do better. I take the third game quite easily, but DK is serving again for the fourth. It goes the same way as the previous one. Even when I return DK's serves, I lose the point in the resulting volley. Now we have a tiebreaker for set 1. DK quickly goes 3 up before I take a point. I go 5-1 behind and it's not looking good. I do bring it back to 5-4, but DK takes the final 2 points and the set. Set 2 starts with DK to serve. Again, I'm going to lose this game, but I do take a few points this time. I easily win game 2, as usual it's much easier for me when I'm serving. Game 3 once again goes by without me getting anywhere close to winning. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to play against DK's serves. I take game 4 easily to force another tiebreaker. I need to win this one to stay in the match. This time I go 3 up to start with, but DK quickly levels the score. I get back in front and manage to win the tiebreak and the set. The first game of the final set and I'm serving. As usual, this is an easy game to win and I have no issues. I get ahead quickly in game 2 before DK levels. Then I take 2 more points to be on championship point. DK gets an ace, but I have 1 more shot. Another ace brings us to deuce. DK quickly gets the advantage and wins the game. Hopefully the win hasn't just slipped away from me. I take the third game again without problem, now for the final game of the match, or it's another tiebreaker. DK starts with an ace, but some good returns I make it to the championship point. This looks familiar. DK does get 1 more ace, but this time I get the return I need to win the match. That was a difficult one. Now for the star tournaments. These are the same courts as the normal ones, but the matches are slightly harder and later will have more sets than the normal tournaments. First up is Rainbow Cup. I start off against Yoshi and apparently the graphics have messed up a bit. I hit a double fault right away, but win the remaining points to take the first game. Yoshi hits a few aces against me, but I pull it back to deuce and then take 2 more points to win the first match. Round 2 and I'm against Paratrooper. I double fault again for another good start, but then hit 4 aces in a row to win the first game. Paratrooper hits 1 ace against me, but is otherwise an easy opponent and I take the remaining points to win. The final is against Boo. I take the first game without dropping any points and with 2 aces to boot. I mostly deal with Boo's awkward serves, but do lose a single point on my way to the first set. Set 2 and I drop some points to Boo here, ending with deuce. I recover by hitting 2 aces to win this game. Boo gets a few aces against me in the next game, but it's still easy enough for me to take enough points from the other serves to win the game and match. Next is Moonlight Cup, and my first opponent is Waluigi. I win the first game, though I drop 1 point to a good return from Waluigi. Waluigi does get some aces in the second game, but his serving style isn't varied enough to give me too many problems to win the match. The second round is against Baby Mario. In this cup, this round is a 3-set match now. I take the first game easily enough, though with a rare volley in the middle, which I came out on top of. Baby Mario gets 1 ace against me in the second game, but otherwise proves to be a relatively easy opponent. I lose a point at the start of set 2 as I just missed Baby Mario's return shot. I pull ahead but drop another point in a similar situation as before. I still win the game, so now it's Baby Mario to serve. He takes a few points against me, but again I still get enough points to win the game and match without too much difficulty. The final is against Mario in a 5-set match. I start well by taking the first game with only 1 point dropped. Mario gets a few aces against me, but I get up to the set point before we end up in a long volley that eventually goes to Mario and puts us into deuce. I take both points to win the set though. In the first game of set 2, Mario starts outplaying me on my serves and goes a few points up. I'm able to bring it back to deuce and win the game, but that was close. I win the next game quite easily though, and I'm 2 sets up. One more to win. I take all the points in the first game without any trouble, but I drop some points in the second game due to an ace and a mistake. Still, I win the game and match, and there's one more tournament to go. Last up is Planet Cup. This is going to be the most difficult. The first match is 3 sets against Bowser, and I'm just sure this isn't going to go well. As usual, I do quite well when serving, but Bowser's serves are very difficult to deal with. My first attempt at this match ends with me losing 2 sets in a row to tiebreakers. Time to try again. The second attempt starts badly as Bowser takes the first game. A few double faults from Bowser though, and some back and forth in deuce, and I manage to take the second game to level the score. I do much better in the third game to take all the points and go ahead. Bowser does the same, taking us to a tiebreaker. After trading some points, I'm able to pull ahead to eventually win the set. The second set starts with Bowser serving, and for once I'm doing quite well with returning the serves and winning points. I manage to win the game, putting me in a good position to take the match from here. The next game goes to deuce though, and Bowser gets the advantage. I turn it around though to win the final 3 points and the match. Round 2 is Baby Mario and 3 sets again. I expect this will be a bit easier than Bowser. The first game is simple enough to win as I'm serving. Baby Mario gets some aces in the second, but it isn't too difficult for me to win the points needed for this game and set. The second set starts off going much the same way. I win the first game and then I'm on match point in the second game when Baby Mario hits a few aces and brings it back to deuce. We go back and forth a few times with the advantage, but I finally get the points I need to win the match. The Planet Cup final is a 5-set match against Mario. I'm happy it's not a power character, but it still won't be easy. As usual, I take the first game while serving, but Mario doesn't take it easy at all and hits 4 aces to win the second game. I win the third game without dropping any points, and Mario is serving again. I win a few points this time, but some more aces from Mario do get the better of me and force a tiebreaker. I manage to get to 6-2 ahead and then take the final point to win the first set. Set 2, and Mario decides to hit another 4 aces to win the first game. That was quick. The second game goes to deuce, and I'm in danger of losing the set to Mario. I recover to win though, and it's 1 game apiece. Mario again wins all points to take the following game. I need to do better. I win the 4th game, and it's a tiebreaker yet again. Mario immediately goes 5 up, and it proves too much for me to recover from, so I lose this set. The first game of set 3 goes well, and I win easily enough. In the second game, I try to stand closer to the service line, and it seems to help with avoiding being aced. I manage to take the points here to win the game and set. Set 4, and I win the first game without dropping any points. The second game, and I continue the strategy of standing close to the service line. Mario makes 1 ace, but I win the remaining points, taking the game, the match, and the final tournament. Overall, this challenge was not too difficult. The ball mostly moves too quickly for the game to be anything other than aces or winning on returns. To be fair, the normal game also plays somewhat like this as well. The main difficulty here was just being in the right positions to return serves. If you enjoyed the video, then consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitch to see more playthroughs like this. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.